Do you know what a lighthouse is? You know what I learned, and I never knew this. Do you know lighthouses do not blow horns? You know, I guess I always thought a lighthouse lights and blows horns. It doesn't. It just lights. The Easter Vigil, what do? We come into a church with one Paschal light, the light of Jesus, lights the entire church up. One light. So I think a good definition of a faithful Catholic should be a lighthouse that just shines and shines the gospel of Jesus Christ. Don't blow horns, just shine. Don't blow horns, just do the work that needs to be done. Take pride in being Catholic. My dad always tipped his hat every church we went by as we were driving. I said, Dad, that's a synagogue. He says, well, God's in there too, and he tipped his hat. Okay, but I remember that as a kid. Well, many people don't wear hats today, so you can't tip them. But do you ever remember the story of the new colonel in the Army who was assigned to a new Army base? And he was brand new, he was nervous, he was excited, and he could see, at the window, and he could see that like a 19-year-old private is walking towards him with a work bag. And he says, oh, I bet you he's coming in here. So he does come, he knocks on the door, and the colonel quickly picks up his phone. And he motions for the young private to come in. Private, I'll be right with you. Yes, Mr. President. Oh, of course, Mr. President. Yes, yes. Thank you for trusting me. Top secret, absolutely. Oh, I'd love to come to the White House for dinner with Mrs. President. Okay. Thank you, sir. We'll be in touch. Bye-bye, sir. Hangs up his phone. Yes, Private. What can I do for you? He said, well, sir, I was sent over here. I was sent. What are you here for, sir, son? What are you here for? Well, sir, I was sent over here. Oh, you know, for what? Well, I was sent over here to hook up your phone. When you're a private, the colonel, you're excited about him anyways. You're impressed. Don't be anyone but who you are, friends. Be who you are. Be who God created you to be. God does not make junk. Be who you are. Celebrate who you are. Be yourself. I always say that we should all be dreamers. Do you dream? Do you have any dreams? Do you have any bucket lists? We all know what a bucket list is. It's things that you want to do. I remember one of my bucket lists was I wanted to go to White Sox spring training out in Arizona, and I did it once. I loved it. There was a bucket list moment. It was something I wanted to do. What are your bucket lists? Dream, and dream big. I think if we're Catholics, we need to dream really big. Go for it. Do it. Be your best. Celebrate who you are. I don't know why I have this dream or this bucket list, but I've always wanted to learn how to play the harp. I don't know why, but I love harp music. Don't you love harp music? It's so soothing, you know? Do you ever see someone play the harp? It's just beautiful. They're just going like this. It's like, oh, that's what I wanted to do. So I remember a wedding I did. I went to the reception. It was at the Drury Lane in Oak Brook. And during the cocktail hour, there was this young lady playing the harp during the cocktail hour. And I was like, wow, that sounds so beautiful. And I was sitting at a table, and there was a guy there. I said, oh, I've always wanted to learn how to play the harp. And he says, that's my daughter. I said, boy, she's good. He says, you want to meet her? I said, yeah, I do. So we go over there. Still, cocktail hour. She's playing. And she takes a little break. And then he said, Father here has always wanted to learn how to play the harp. She said, you should. She said, would you like to try it? I said, really? She said, yes. So I sat down, and I don't know if you know this, but a harp falls into you. So she taught me what to do, and she said, just go like this. And she did this beautiful melodic music. That's all you got to do. I said, that's all I got to do? That's all you got to do. So that's what I did. I went. But what came out was, and everyone in the cocktail hour would say, what happened? It was awful. But you know what? It's a dream of mine. I don't know if I'm still going to play the harp, but boy, I had that experience. I was watching the news one night. It must have been a slow news night, because they were interviewing a woman who was 85 years old. Her dream was to jump out of an airplane, skydive. So she did it, 85 years old. She jumps out of the plane, and her parachute does not open. But I was told from this news story that you always fly going out of the plane with an instructor. Has anyone here ever skydived? Is that true? You always have an instructor? And so the woman wasn't killed because the guy was there, and so this reporter, who was kind of stupid in my opinion, oh, what was it like? Were you afraid? You could have died. She said, I'm 85. She said, if I died, I would at least have died doing something I'm dreaming about. I said, reporter, just shut up, okay? Friends, what's your dream? What are you doing about it? Do it. Go for it. Whatever it is. And I hope our dream is that we are one as a church in Christ. And your 3 parishes coming together to do this new thing of doing a mission together, I hope and pray it will be so successful that it will be a model for other parishes. And so, to all the St. George and St. Elizabeth Seton people, thank you for traveling. Next year, St. Julie, get in the car and go wherever. Do we know where it's going to be next year? Where? St. George. So get to know where St. George is going to be, okay? But that's building up the church. That's building up the Catholic family. And we do it together. And that's the beauty of this, friends. You know, people ask me, Father Tom, do you ever get bored doing these parish missions? I have now been to 23 states in the last 26 years, over 300 parish missions. I never get bored. I get tired, and as I get older, I get tired. But I've never been bored. You know why? Because I get to meet you. Everyone is different. Everyone has their story. And when we come together around this table and give thanks, unbelievable things happen. And so, friends, be a Eucharistic people. And during this Jubilee year of hope, let us hope that we can truly build up the church. Do you know how many people there are that we all know that have stopped going to church? For whatever reason, we need to get them back. And you know the best way to get them back is not get in their face. Hey, go to church! No, that's not a way to do it. You know how you do it? Be happy. Be joyful. And as the worries and trials of life come, and people say, why are you so happy? I'm not, I'm miserable. Why are you so happy? And then you can say, let me tell you why. It's because Jesus is the center of my life. Do you know what? You might get them back. Word and by example. Example. And prayer. Not nagging. Not putting your finger in their face. Does anyone like a finger in your face? I don't. But by example, be happy, dream big. And people are going to say, why are you so happy? Let me tell you why. So friends, be the lighthouse. Don't blow a horn unless you need to. And then blow the horn saying how happy you are. So go for it. What's your harp? Pray for it. Go for it. Try it. Even if it doesn't happen, still try to do it. I'd like to close with this. How are you being called? I'm trying to read my own writing. How are you being called to be the best? How are you being called to be an evangelizer? That's what it means to bring people to Jesus and Jesus to people. How are you calling? I don't care how young you are. I don't care how old you are. Be the best. Be your best. Love God and love your neighbor. In other words, love your way to heaven. And whatever your harp is, go for it. And be a person who has an attitude of gratitude. And it begins at this Eucharistic table. And then it goes into all of our parishes, all of the archdioceses, all the way up to the Pope, and all the way down. How good it is that we are here. Don't give up and know how much you're loved. So, that's my story for these 3 nights. The saints are heroes in faith. Prayer. Did you start the 5 F's yet? Good. And then today, how do we give thanks and how do we keep Jesus as our center?